All right, now that I've overviewed, you kind of have a sense of what the final project is. I want to make sure that you know how to get sources, because once you've defined a research question, or maybe you have a couple research questions that you're trying to decide between, the next step is to go start finding what else is out there so that you are building on prior research. You want to make sure somebody else hasn't already done this. If somebody has already done your idea, then you can get more specific. Okay, believe me, they haven't answered all of the questions that will be relevant. So I think the best way to find relevant sources is to use Google Scholar. So this is a subset of Google that's limited to peer review articles. To get here, type in scholar.google.com. Now, if you have not done this already, when you do Google Scholar, one of the first things you should do is set this up to link to CMU's library. So click on the whatchadigger over here, and then on the gear, I know what that is, then click on library links. You will search for Carnegie Mellon and select it and save. Once you've done that, you only need to ever do that once. It will link Google Scholar to findings that CMU holds, so that if you sign in remotely, and you have to, if you're going to do this from home, want to interface with CMU's library, you need to download some special software. But if you're on campus, it will do it automatically. So let me show you what this looks like. I'm going to pull up an article that's on the schedule for Wednesday, Novelty in Academic Writing by Koffer and Geisler. You can see here I have a link to the full text, but it also says full text at my library. If I'm on campus, you can click on that and get to it. And there will be some links on here. Gosh, a lot of things have access just online. But if our library has it in an online database, there will be a link here. Now, if you have an article that we've read, a reading that we have in class that's really sparked your curiosity, an excellent way to research things is, first of all, read the bibliography of that article and see if there are any texts in there that seem really relevant. So, and I would read very carefully the lit review to find out what might be in those different texts. So that's a reverse citation, or called mining the bibliography as a strategy. We can also do forward citation. So we can see who has cited it. You can see 140 people, 148 articles have cited this one, which appeared in 1989. So if I click on this, it is going to pull up texts that have cited this. Okay, and then we have, so I can pull up all of these here and access them. You can also, let's see, there's a lot. So 148 is possible to scroll through, but you can do an additional search. You could say search within citing articles, and let's say I want to look for things on, let's say philosophy, and see what in here. All right, I've narrowed that down to 90 results. That's kind of surprising, but here we go. This looks like very relevant. It is. It's by Cheryl Geisler, who is one of the authors on here. Or we might want to look for. Okay, here's some additional stuff. We're seeing different things on philosophy. So we can do a search here. Now, let's say there is an article or a book on here that we do not have in our library. So let's say you wanted this book, Writing and Identity. You can look and see, first of all, if CMU has it in the library. You can also look at Pitt's library. You have borrowing privileges for Pitt. And it's just a short walk down Forbes Avenue to their library. You can also do interlibrary loan. A lot of times, beginning graduate students, especially master's students, don't want to use interlibrary loan. Get over that. No, your student fees pay for it. Absolutely use it. That is for you. It's not something that you're not you're not authorized to use. Ask for things early, and part of why I want you to bring in some sources is because if there is anything that you want to get through interlibrary loan, I want to make sure you have some time before the final paper is due. Sometimes things from interlibrary loan get to you very quickly. By quickly, I mean like within 24 hours. Sometimes it can take a lot longer than that. It's somewhat random. So do not hesitate to request these things. And to request an interlibrary loan, you can go to CMU's library, and there should be a link up here. Let's see. Here it is, over to the right. You can see the beginning of it, requesting items, interlibrary loan. If you're having trouble finding sources, do not hesitate to talk to a reference librarian. The reference librarian desk is right next to the GCC. And the reference librarians will be delighted to help you. They are underutilized, so you're giving them a little bit of job security, and they like doing this kind of thing, and they can give you lots of good advice on how to get relevant research and articles. A final resource you have is just to ask me. And of course, when I look at your topic proposal, I will come up with some things. But if you're having trouble finding sources, send me an email sooner rather than later. It's very possible that I'll have some good ideas about search terms to use, places to start, something that I've read that I think would be really relevant. Or perhaps I might work with you to tweak your research question so that it's a question, an idea that you will be successful with. So if you have any questions, please send me an email over break, and I will get back to you as soon as I can.